every time you win, you feel good at the end of it. That's what you're trying to do, and we got that done. I did think we had to grind it out, which was not a shock. I mean, that football team, San Diego State, they're physical, they can run the ball, they got some good players, challenging scheme on defense, and created some problems at times offensively, especially early for us. And I'm just proud of the group to be able to just keep fighting and grinding defensively for the most part. Gave up a few that, we'll learn from on tape, but outside of that, I thought they kept us in this thing and kept on battling throughout. I was really pleased with that. So another awesome home crowd. Can't thank Beaver Nation again. Sell out, the place is rocking, makes a difference for the opponent. And so it feels good to finish non-conference play 3-0.
After winning pretty one-sided the last couple of weeks, do you feel like this was a game you guys kind of needed the way it played out, or is that overrated?
No, I think our guys know these games are going to get more and more difficult. They're going to be closer, tighter throughout, not just for one half type thing. So I was proud of these guys. They kept on battling. We're scrapping out there back and forth, chipping away. It's 3-0, it's 6-0, and a long time in the one possession game. So we know that type of game is coming, and today was kind of like that.
In regard to the passing game, DJ's been pretty accurate so far this season. Today, it was a struggle for quite a while. How much of that was his passes? How much of the receivers just not being able to get separation?
Yeah, there was a combination of a few things. I think, there's a couple of throws that he can make that were not as accurate as we'd like. There's a couple times we were not on the same page route running wise, thinking he was going to break out, he breaks in, that kind of thing. Again, give some credit to San Diego State. That scheme is not easy. The way they changed looks pre-snap, post-snap, and so they made it hard.
Talk a little bit about the tackles for loss and sacks today. It really seemed like even though San Diego State was maybe able to hit some underneath stuff, when it was important, you guys were able to get pressure on them.
Yep, Chatfield, Takari Hickle, squeezed in that pocket. The guy can make some throws in the pocket, and he did. But yeah, we, for the most part, contained him to escape in the pocket, hit some underneath stuff that hurt us at times, but was pleased at the line of scrimmage on defense.
Speaking of the opposing DB core, they, gave you guys a little bit of trouble again, and they were, of course, coming into this game one of the best DB cores in the nation, 6 picks, heading into this one, 8 picks now in total. I think 10 turnovers in total through 4 games for them. Now, what sort of challenges do you feel like they gave you offensively, and what did you kind of see?
The first pick, we were throwing the ball, it's just a little bit high. Anthony Gould's going up. I think DJ's going to a decent spot where the ball gets tipped up there and they get it. And then ultimately on the second one to Silas, we're actually wanting that coverage. We want man on man. We want to throw it back across the field, and they made a better play than us. And so give those guys some credit. Turnovers are going to take place. Talked about it a little bit. And so I was pleased with the response of our guys kept battling.
Were you mad at those turnovers? You talked about it last week. You said you'd figure out if you were going to be mad. Were you?
Yeah, never pleased, obviously. Because again, if we could execute better, and we're not going to turn the thing over. But we play this game. It's not a game of perfect. Turnovers are going to take place. We're going to have to tighten that up as these games get closer and closer, because that can make a huge difference.
Late in the second quarter, I noticed that you had swapped Jermod McCourt, or defense had swapped Jermod McCourt for Tyrese Ivey Jr. Was Tyrese injured at all? Was that just part of the kind of just the feel of the game? What happened there?
Yeah, I feel actually really good about both those players. We want to get him in the game, and he's done a good job. And so that was nothing to do with injury. McCoy's just earned some reps.
Not to keep repeating the same thing that everyone's saying over and over again, but obviously you guys struggled a little bit on offense, but how important was it to just, be able to, for the players even, just to show themselves that they're just one play away from reaching the end zone?
Well, it's kind of because we were productive. I mean, I look at our yardage and things, we're moving the ball, and then we, I think it's first drive, we got a couple of penalties, backed us up, took us out of that. We didn't convert on third down, we're not on the same page on a route there, then we're kicking a field goal. And again, that scheme, San Diego State makes it tough. We had a couple of 3-and-outs. We turned the ball over a couple of times. But we also had a couple of big plays that, Anthony Gould toward the end separated things.
You played 3 times. Which game did you get the most out of as a team?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. I do think that, you learn more and more each week. I think this week you learned a ton. Again, the talent level, the schematics, battling back from some adversity. I think we learned a ton today.
The touchdown by Gray. What's it like when you got a play design like that in your pocket and you know you're holding on to it, into the decision of when to pull that out and to use a play like that?
Yep, we've had it in the playbook for the last couple of years, just an opportune time didn't present itself. Actually talked a little bit about it with the team yesterday, because it presented, we felt like we get down there tight, that this was a play that would, you know, give us an advantage, and they practiced it. Josh was catching balls. DJ actually throws a really good ball, it's well designed, and you know, the situation arises, you practice it enough, you gotta trust your execution.
Couple injuries today, any update on Micaiah or Ryan Cooper?
Yep, not a definite update. Sounds early, as Micaiah might be a little bit longer term.
Was it knee or hamstring again?
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
that. And then on Coop, haven't heard that that's a long-term thing, but still don't know.
You've made a big emphasis this year on wanting to get explosive plays. Is that one thing that you take out of this game that you feel pretty good about? Because there was 5 or 6 pretty explosive plays with Gould on top of that.
Yeah, with Gould, I think Damian's can be explosive. Belling has a sweet catch, good throw by DJ to separate things. We gotta be able to complement that. I just think in general, whether it's us, any offense, the ability to, you know, create 20, 30-yard gains. It's hard to go 10, 12, 14 plays and execute the whole time without kind of hurting yourself or dropping a ball or penalty there. So it's vitally important.
How important, obviously, you mentioned, you know, not happy with offensive output, but how important is it that, you know, your defense, you can really hang your hat on that and they can keep you in the game even when they're not even forcing turnover, just playing good defense?
Yeah, they played, like I said, for the majority of the game, played really good defense, getting off the field, pressuring the quarterbacks, you know, the run game in general, pretty solid. Did have a couple of plays that we gave away in the second half that we got to tighten up, because those will really hurt us. I do think they dropped a couple of balls that, you know, those are caught, that'll hurt us. And but overall, defensively, obviously, give up whatever it was 9 points, you'll take that.
Coach, 3-0, obviously non-conference. You guys head into Pac-12 play next week against Washington State. We've seen how good this Cougars team can be. What do you think you guys are most going to have to improve upon over the next 7 days to get ready for a tough team and a tough crowd in Pullman? Potentially very important game for you guys this season.
Yeah, I just think it's important. We're improving each week. The more and more tape we put out there, whoever we're playing next, we got to take a step and improve. Know some of our flaws, some of the things that we got to get better at moving forward. That'll be a challenge. I haven't looked at those guys much at all, but it starts Pac-12 play.
I know conference realignment's been a discussion over the last couple of months. Knowing that you guys and Washington State are the last two that are going to be a part of the Pac-12, at least as we know it right now, do you find it at all ironic that the first game of the Pac-12 season, you guys are going against Washington State again? The two last members of the Pac-12 facing off against each other in the first game of Pac-12 competition.
You know, no, I haven't. I've put a lot of thought into it. You know, the schedule is what it is. Knew we were going to play them every year because we were, you know, on the schedule. But we're looking forward to it. Trying to digest this one, and then we'll move forward.